We also want to thank COBA Representative Ashaki Antoine for her participation in the board's public comment period and her consistent engagement with our staff, which is very useful to us. And she provides important information to our staff. We met yesterday and she brought again some issues to my attention that we've discussed at prior board meetings, including the presence of scalding hot water in housing areas where people in custody have access to it in the hot pot that they're able to use for food and drink. The temperature there is apparently still way too high. And last week, an officer, according to COBA, suffered a second-degree burn when they were splashed with the scalding hot water. Another issue that she again brought to our attention is that the doors are not working in AMKC housing areas so that people in custody are able to manipulate the doors and obtain access to come in and out at their own will, and particularly doors in AMKC buildings 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are not working. And this is of great concern because the people in custody are not safe, and the officers don't feel safe either.
Good afternoon. My name is Ashaki Antoine, and I'm the first citywide trustee of the Correctional Officers Benevolent Association. I want to provide you with a few updates brought by COBA since the last BOC public meeting. Since the last meeting, 3 female correctional officers were groped, sexually assaulted. July 7th, an officer was splashed by an inmate with boiling hot water from the institutional hot pot. The officer suffered second-degree burns to the upper body. Today, you questioned and mentioned the inmate infraction process, and if the inmates are provided legal representation at the hearing. But yet no question or mention of the inmates committing serious acts of violence, which are all captured daily on Gentech video. No mention or question of the inmates not locking in at locking times, which is 9 p.m. No mention or question of the inmates secreting weapons in their body cavities, which are all captured on Gentech. And no mention or question of the monthly increase of sexual assault on our correctional officers and civilians. Are these issues not valid to mention or question? As I mentioned several times, the cell doors in the facilities are inoperable. There is an effort in breaking up the blending of gang housing, but how can you do this safely, especially in a huge facility such as AMKC, if the cell doors do not work and can be easily manipulated? Again, officers should be able to conduct tours in the housing area without the inmates exiting their cells unauthorized. In addition, inmates should be able to be secured in their cells during voluntary lock-in, lock-out periods and at mandatory lock-in times safely. I want to reiterate, COBA is not against programming for inmates or any type of rehabilitation services. However, we must acknowledge that there are some inmates who are not interested in programming and who continues to act out violently. How do you keep nonviolent inmates safe from them? How do you keep civilian staff safe? And how do you keep correctional officers safe? It's a bit frustrating month after month presenting these same issues to you with no real solutions. I do understand it's not easy. It's not an easy fix, given the department has neglected these issues internally and externally for years, making everyone on Rikers Island vulnerable. However, it should not be at the expense of correctional officers' safety and the daily operations of the security of the jails. Prioritize appropriately and fix it. Thank you for your time.